what we need to see at the present time is a revival or a spiritual awakening in the church of today. And I'm going to begin actually in Psalm 138. I was searching for the word revival because in the King James Version it only appears actually 7 times, and it is the translation not only of one Hebrew word but the translation of 3 different words, and so it can be taken to mean different in context. The word revival itself, as you know, is a French word, and it simply means to bring something back to life, revive it. You can revive things that are apparently dead. You can sometimes revive plants. You can certainly revive people that have collapsed. And so literally the meaning is to bring something back, not that it's totally dead, but that it's almost extinct. And so I found this verse in Psalm 138, it's verse 7. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you will revive me. You'll stretch forth your hand against the wrath of my enemies. And looking at the situation through which we've come, with all the difficulties of the lockdown, of the COVID, the churches being in difficulty and so on, I feel that this is very appropriate, that at this time when we're celebrating Pentecost, we look at this verse, though I walk in the midst of trouble, you will revive me. And so it is a sense of trouble and the Lord reviving us. There's another verse in Psalm 13, and although it doesn't appear as such in the King James Version, it does in another. Literally, in Psalm 13, David is saying, revive me or I die. So there are 2 aspects of revival. One is that, yes, it's bringing something back to life that's been, if I can use the word, dormant. But David takes it to the other extreme, which is true. If you don't revive, you die. And literally with us, if in that moment of extremity we're not revived, and I'm thinking about people that are put in comas, that people are put in great medical difficulty, they need reviving or they die. So there's the 2 sides of it, and we have to realize that, and I've never said this before, but in praying and looking at this subject, I can see the importance of this, that unless the church will actually revive, it's not just a question of it being dormant, it will die. It's so serious that we do need to really look at this and see what the understanding is. I mean, if I look at history, of course, in Joel chapter 2, we get the illustration, the former and the latter rain. And as I've said many times before, because I've believed this all my life, that the first outpouring of the Holy Spirit was on the day of Pentecost. But I do believe that in the last days of the church, there is a second awakening, a second revival, which we have been experiencing since certainly at the beginning of the 1900s, because the most famous one is, of course, the Welsh revival in 1904, when my father was converted, and when so much of what we know and what I have came from that. But there have been revivals at different periods in the church.